When the Chicago White Sox traded Luis Robert Jr., many people were baffled due to what they got back in return. Let me be clear. While the Chicago White Sox could have held on to him a little while longer, once again to the trade deadline, with the hopes of receiving a better haul, trading him when they did was the right thing to do, no doubt, regardless of what they got back in return from the New York Mets. With that being said, the Luis Robert Jr. move and everything else the Chicago White Sox have done this season and last season has set the Southsiders up to have a breakout season this year. It's your boy, Big Kev. We're going to get right into it right after the intro.
Welcome to Chicago White Sox Central, your number one place for all Sox news and content.
Good morning, Chicago White Sox fans. Welcome to Chicago White Sox Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago White Sox related. And if you're new here, which you probably are because this is about the third or fourth time that I had to restart this page due to whatever is going on over at the with the powers that be. But this is the one that's going to stick. I'm your host here, Big Kev. You can follow me at Big Kev from the Shy, Big Kev from DACHI, or Sox Central Pod, or you can email us at shywhitesoxcentral@gmail.com. We will have a phone number once the season starts so we can do mail bags. And of course, follow the rest of the Chi-Town Sports Central family by typing in your favorite Chicago sports team and putting the word Central behind it. Now, listen, it's no secret that the Chicago White Sox have been historically bad for the past 3 seasons, losing 100-plus games in each of the last 3 years, plus a record of 120-plus losses a couple of seasons ago. But you would think it was crazy for somebody like me to believe that this team could be capable of having a breakout year. But hear me out. Last season, after the All-Star break, this young team flipped the switch behind Will Venable. At one point, they were 25-25 with a plus 22 run differential. They were in the top 5 in home runs hit, so on and so forth. Now, as it happened, after that, a bunch of injuries happened to Luis Robert Jr., a couple of other veterans, and they ended up finishing 28-37 after the All-Star break with an overall record of 60-102. Now, the crazy part is even though they lost 102 games, they still improved 19 games last season. In any other situation, that's a playoff team, but the Chicago White Sox have been that bad that even improving 19 games meant that they lost 102 games. Now, here are a few reasons why this team is in line, though, to improve significantly this season. One, there are no longer any players remaining from the beginning of the downfall. We all know the history. The Chicago White Sox were considered to be perennial playoff contenders, World Series contenders. After the COVID situation, where we had an MVP on our roster, we had great pitching with Luis Giolito, Dylan Cease. We had a core of Luis Robert Jr., Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Andrew Vaughn, all of those guys, Manny Moncado, and it looked like they were going to be contending in the AL Central for years to come. They won 90-plus games, made it to the divisional round, and lost. And then after that, the wheels just fell off. They went 81-81. Tim Anderson got punched in the face, and we ain't been right ever since. Been 100 lost seasons year after year after year. So the last remaining vestiges of those teams are over with. Tim Anderson's gone. Eloy Jimenez gone. Andrew Vaughn gone. Luis Robert Jr. gone. All the pitchers, all the coaches, they are gone. They were all bought into a losing mindset. The clean slate will prove to be beneficial to creating a winning culture on the South Side. Will Venable, the hitting coach, the pitching coach, third base coach, all the way down to the minor leagues, these guys are going to instill a winning mindset into our young players. You can bank on that. Now that Luis Robert Jr. is gone, and make no mistake about it, he had to go. Luis Robert Jr. was not a leader. He was not a leader in the clubhouse. He was injury prone, and he frankly needed a change of scenery. He had been a part of a losing culture for way too long to help benefit this young team. Wish him the best of luck over in New York. Maybe he'll have a breakout season, kind of how Andrew Vaughn had it last season with the Milwaukee Brewers. But at the end of the day, he had to go. This is an addition by subtraction, and what they got back in return from him for him and Luis Angel Acuna, we'll see how that goes. Number two, pitching will be much better this season, especially if they can stay healthy. Last season, the Chicago White Sox pitching was a mixed bag from their starters. Even though Shane Smith made the All-Star game, even he struggled to maintain consistency last year. Smith and Davis Martin are going to provide the team with a solid numbers. I think they're going to be okay, especially if they stay healthy. Grant Taylor and Sean Burke will have to step up. And we got two powerful left-handed prospects waiting in the wings to come up, and Noah Schultz and Hagen Smith, and they will both likely be called up at some point to contribute to this roster this season. They are the two best left-handed prospects in all of baseball. I believe that's still true. So when they come up, we're looking at a situation where pitching can be much improved, and not to mention the relief pitchers. The relief pitchers had 24 blown saves last season. And just keep in mind, 3 less blown saves would have had us under the 100 loss mark, but I digress. The Chicago White Sox will improve there due to the signing of Sir Anthony Dominguez. Over the past 4 seasons, Dominguez in 222 in the third innings with 3 different teams. He posted a 3.60 ERA with a 10.7% walk rate, a 27% strikeout rate, and a 41.9% ground ball rate with 24 saves and 55 holds. That's going to improve the bullpen exponentially. Exponentially. He's going to be a great setup guy slash closer. We need him to play well. He played really well in 2018 before he had to have Tommy John surgery. Last season, he pitched in the World Series. He played in 12 games, 12 playoff games last year. He brings a wealth of experience to this team, and the Chicago White Sox are going to benefit from having him in that bullpen. We also expect Jordan Ledger to benefit from that too, and Grant Taylor a little bit, depending on what they're planning on doing with him. And finally, the reason why this team is in line to have a breakout season is because the youth movement is in full effect. This team is now loaded with offensive talent. Seriously, loaded with offensive talent, whether it's somebody that's going to get on base all the time and Chase Mydroth, who's going to draw a bunch of walks. You also have Miguel Vargas, who had a breakout season last year. He had 19 home runs. Colson Montgomery didn't even play until July and ended up with 23 home runs. Colson Montgomery is going to be a star on the South Side. Munitaka Murakami, the biggest signing of the offseason from Japan, he has the potential to hit 30-plus home runs along with Colson Montgomery. Andrew Benintendi is still here for veteran help. And then you got Brooks Baldwin, who's going to have to step up and play really, really well this season. And of course, Luis Angel Acuna has potential. We don't necessarily know if he's going to be able to hit a bunch of home runs. He did have a 4 home run game in the minors or in the Venezuela ball. But at the end of the day, you have many players on this team that can hit 10 plus home runs. That's Kyle Till, Colson Montgomery with 30 plus. Miguel Vargas can hit 10 plus. Andrew Benintendi can hit 10 plus. And then, of course, Munitaka Murakami can hit 10 plus. And then Edgar Quiero has that capability as well. So this team is loaded with pop. We saw it last season after the All-Star break. They hit a whole bunch of home runs. They were plus on the plus minus and run differential. Teams are not going to be able to come into Chicago or invite Chicago into their stadium and expect them not to score runs, because they're going to score runs. And listen, this young team is going to improve this year, and I'm excited to see it. You should be too. Now, I'm not saying a breakout season for the Chicago White Sox means that they're going to make the playoffs. No. Although stranger things have happened. Look at the Toronto last year. They made it all the way to the World Series after losing a bunch of games the season before that. However, I am saying that this team will finally avoid losing 100 straight games. It's not going to happen for the 4th straight season. And this will be another 10 plus game improvement for this team. So the Chicago White Sox are finally trending in the right direction. Gets, they're going to have these guys ready to go. Spring training is in a couple of weeks when Chicago White Sox take on the Chicago Cubs. It's going to be a fun season. If nothing else, we're going to have fun watching these guys develop, much like we did last season. I'm your host, Big Kev. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me today on the first episode of this new channel. Oh man, hopefully I don't do anything else to make the powers that be upset. I'm not even sure what happened last time, but that's neither here nor there. Hit me up at Big Care from the Shy, Big Care from DACHI, and you can follow Sox Central Pod, and then of course you can hit me up at Shy White Sox Central at gmail.com. We're going to have a great year. Make sure you like, share, and comment. It's your boy Big Kev holding it down for the South Side. And we're going to holler at you guys next time. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.